what we need, or what I need right now, so we're gonna unplug it. So when it senses that now, it actually won't be able to switch it off. Simple fix for a very annoying problem. So it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Oh, don't do that. Oh no. Go that way with it. We have done this backwards. Okay. Go easy with my shoulder. All right, let's get all the. All right, welcome back, guys, to Home on the Hitch. Glad to have you here. My name's Thomas. If you're first time, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. We've got an inverter issue that we've got to deal with. We've had some problems with our Renogy inverter, but I think that I finally found the solution. It's not one I'm going to recommend to you, but it's what we're going to use because that's what our setup is. As well as I got the old turtle shell here up off the truck rack because I think I need to paint it. Painted the rack. We got a new extra spare tire for the trailer up there, but I'm going to take everything out of this turtle shell, get it painted. It went to Alaska and back, so it's seen better days, but there's always something to do in an RV. We just put in a new mattress, got rid of our old king-size mattress. So I've had quite a few people ask me or ask us about our power system. As I've said before, that you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to have a little bit of boondocking power, and that's exactly what we have. We have a little bit of boondocking power. We've got 400 amp hours of lithium battery power. We have a 1200 watt inverter that runs our residential refrigerator, and we have a 3000 watt inverter that runs the rest of the coach. We have a 75 amp smart battery charger, and the only thing that's really super automatic on our system is the transfer switches. We do have automatic transfer switches that switch between the shore power generator and the inverter, depending upon which one is turned on. The shore power runs through normally, the generator will take priority over that, and the inverter will take priority over all of it if we switch the inverter on. The inverter doesn't automatically switch on when the shoreline goes out. It's not automatic like the Victron stuff. I also only paid about $320 for the inverter, paid about $230 a piece for the batteries, less than $100 for the battery charger. You see what I'm getting at here. We're probably sub $2,000 for the whole setup. Maybe right there at it with the wires and connectors and stuff like that. You don't have to spend $10,000 break the bank to have some boondocking power. Now ours is not as convenient as just being able to unplug and plug and everything functions automatically, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a little bit of manual switch flipping, and if you are too, then you can kind of set some stuff up that's not too hard to deal with, and that works really well. And we've got an inverter issue though that I do have to try to fix today for our specific type of inverter. I would do your research when you're buying an inverter for your rig so you don't wind up in the shape that we are. So that will be Melissa's project for the day. She's painting. Like I said, she woke up and chose violence, so that's what she's going to do. And we painted this one wall. She got this one wall painted, but it's a lot lighter than we thought it was going to be. So these are the colors we're looking at for the wall. I guess it's the slide out, but I don't know. Maybe the whole thing. What do you guys think? It's hard to tell. It looks a lot. The one that we chose looks a lot light. It looks a lot lighter on the wall than it did in the swath.
Yeah, in the store it looked a little, I don't know, darker, but that's you have to try it out.
Yeah.
So we all have our projects to do today.
And honey.
I am painting, and honey is sleeping.
And I am going to work on the inverter. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I got to turn the AC off in there, so it's. All right, so this is our Renogy 3000 watt inverter that powers the house. Like I said, we got a Xantrex 1200 that powers the fridge, but this powers everything else in the house. But we've had some issues with it by design. I finally kind of found out what was going on and what the fix hopefully should be for it. Now, this inverter is not designed to be wired into a panel like I have it to wire the whole thing up. It's capable of running, you know, the 3000 watts, but it's not designed to be wired into a panel because it has a very, very sensitive GFI circuit inside this. This is designed like if you have it out here and you're running something off of it, if the cord's cut or it's frayed and it's going to shock you and it senses the ground fault, it's going to shut this inverter off. Well, the problem that we've had is under load, sometimes like half load, 1300 watts. Sometimes it'll run just fine, but sometimes it'll run for a while and just kick off. The GFI will activate and kick the entire thing off and shut down everything in the camper except for the fridge, because that runs off of a different inverter. Public service announcement, don't do what I'm doing. I'm disabling or planning on disabling the GFI circuit in our inverter. Don't recommend that anyone do that, but we have GFI breakers, GFI plugs on everything in the camper, so I feel completely, perfectly 100% safe doing it. I don't need GFI on the inverter. All right, so you can see the hot and the neutral, this set of black wires and the set of white wires right there. You see this little round circle ring that's going around it. And it has this black and white wires attached to it, and they are plugged in right here. Well, what this is doing is basically measuring the magnetic field that's passing in and out of these wires, and it should be the same. How a GFI works is the slightest little difference in that field, this will sense it, goes to here, cuts off the plugs. That's how it keeps you from getting electrocuted. That's not what we need, or what I need right now, so we're going to unplug it. So when it senses that now, it actually won't be able to switch it off. Simple fix for a very annoying problem. So now we got to put it back together, which is 6 screws in the bottom, and put it back in and make sure everything works. I'm gonna flip this bottom switch. I heard it beep. So hopefully in about 30 seconds, this transfer switch is going to take over. It's got priority to the inverter, so it'll shut off power from everywhere else. Fast forward. And there it went. Even though the transfer switch has completely shut off the shore power at this point inside the transfer switch, I'm going to shut the breaker off out here, so that way I know if the inverter fails. We're going to run off the batteries for a while and see what happens. We're very limited in our compartment space. So here's where we have everything at. We've got, you can see our Renogy 3000 watt inverter up there. You can see we have a 60 amp DC to DC battery charger below that. This is the Xantrex inverter that powers our residential fridge. The reason it's laying down like that, and it really shouldn't be mounted like that, it was a kind of a last minute addition back in. Initially I had everything running off of the 3000 watt inverter. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to, actually because of the problem that I'm going to fix today. Had I known that, I could have done without putting this one back in, but I'm okay with this. I just need to move it and mount it on that wall. What happens with it laying down like it is it will get hot in the case. It's designed for air to move up and down in the case vertically. It will get hot and shut off because of the heat protect. If it's really, really hot outside and the inverter's working. But the Ames Power smart battery charger down there, and way over there you can see the batteries. Very small compartment to put everything in, but it was pretty much our best bet. This little nugget out here is actually another Xantrex Pro Watt transfer switch. So if I run just a 20 amp cord to this, it will bypass the power coming to the smart battery charger and run the battery charger off of this shoreline right here. So if we're at a park that only has like a 20 amp breaker, I can turn the inverter on, be running the rig off of, you know, the batteries and everything, plug in right here and have the battery charger kind of going and keeping up, because we don't have solar. That way I can charge the batteries while we're using the inverter without solar or without running the generator. It's making progress. Wow. Painter mail.
It's amazing what a little bit of paint can
do.
It
looks good. It does change it up. I like the lighter color because it makes it bigger.
And it makes it bright in here, you know,
yeah,
because it's always so dingy.
We've been running for about an hour now on the batteries, and it hasn't shut off, and it usually would have by now. We've had that issue. I've had the air conditioner in the bedroom, which has an easy start. It's been running for about an hour. So I'm going to count that as a success. All right, breaker back on. This bottom Renogy switch is the inverter. Shore power's on, so you should hear a click, and it's like that. We're back on the shore power. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch the battery charger on. Now you're going to see it's charging at 76.2, 76 or so amps. Everything's working good. Well, minus the propane bottles, look at everything that goes in that turtle shell. I got our giant water bladder, some miscellaneous tools, cables, wires, inflators, got all kinds of stuff. Who travels with a 120 volt welder? I do. Never had to use it, and I hope I never do. But, you know, if you've got it, you've got it. All right, well, this is what we're going to use here. This Rust-Oleum truck bed, Pro Grade Black. It's a turbo can. It's the same thing I painted it with originally when we were in Texas before I put it on the first time. These cans are huge. It's about 22 bucks, 23 bucks for this can. But one can coated the whole thing last time, so hopefully it'll do the same. Well, just like that, 20 seconds later, she's coated. And that can goes quick, buddy. But you know what? It'll last another year for me. That's all I need. Now I gotta let it dry, so I can put it back up on the rack and put all that crap back in it, because it's gonna be pouring down rain all day tomorrow. I put this in. Oh my God! I don't know what that was. This is a great idea. Okay. Traps on the sides. Okay. And the heater. That's a. It's just too big for the opener. We run into that often.